Hi, it's Cherie from Big Notes Get Votes, and with 2023 just around the corner, it's got me thinking, what kind of singing goals do I want to look at for next year? And I'm sure you're probably thinking, how can I improve my voice and my singing in 2023? Well, I've decided to put together the ultimate guide to improving your voice. Now, this is something that I use in my coaching programs and also in my online program, the Singer's Technique Toolkit. I'm going to show you each of the 12 steps that are guaranteed to help you boost confidence in your singing. And this is kind of why I call it my singing confidence roadmap. Why I want to share these with you is because I want to make things as easy as possible for you when it comes to setting goals for your voice in 2023. Now, if you need a little bit more help with setting specific goals, you can check out this video here on how to set and smash your singing goals. And these 12 steps that I'm going to share with you today are 12 things that you can do, either one focus per week, or you can take a little bit more time, do one focus per month, or if you're chomping at the bit to just smash things out in 12 days, you can take these steps and implement one a day for a kickstart into 2023 to really help you get the year off to a great start. And the first step in my singing confidence roadmap starts with creating space. It's about creating space in your head, owning your singer's identity, literally creating space somewhere that you can sing comfortably and confidently within your home, or maybe hiring a rehearsal space. And then also just the actual schedule, like making time for crafting. It's often a lot easier to keep up the habit of anything if we've actually carved out some space and time in our diary for it. So this is a small, kind of obvious tip, but if you start with it right from the get-go, and I'd suggest 30 minutes a week at the bottom end, right through to about 3 hours each week, and you can break that up however you want. It might be 30 minutes 6 times a week. It could be 1 hour 3 times a week. And these time frames are totally yours to decide. You might even want to do 15 minutes a day, twice a day for 6 days a week. It is based on how you feel you learn and work best and what you can fit into your schedule and commit to. And at this point, I would say commit to really turning up for yourself and practicing with your voice for 60 to 90 days to see some really great improvements. But if you focus on this for even the 30 days, I guarantee you'll see some improvements in your voice. You've got the space, you've made some time. Now it's about your daily habits, specifically your daily vocal habits. Now the 3 that I like to focus on, because they literally take about 5 minutes, are sirens, singer's stretches, and speaking voice mindfulness. You'll find a little playlist that'll take you through each of those, and those are the key things. If you don't have time in your day to do a full practice or to focus on your voice for a long period of time, those 3 things will literally take you 3 minutes combined. The next step, if you really want to lay down solid foundations for your voice, is to check in with your vocal health. Make sure that you are drinking enough water for you, that your nutrition is on point for your body, and you're not triggering any responses that might impact your voice, like some people find dairy produces a lot of phlegm, which can make it a little bit harder for your voice to work effectively if you're always clearing phlegm, or what I lovingly refer to as rattling the dags. So looking at things like nutrition and hydration, how your voice is feeling. If you've got any vocal health issues, it's a great time to go and check in with a laryngologist. I've just had my vocal warrant of fitness to make sure that my voice is good and to make a care plan for the next 6 months while I'm on tour. And that video will be coming very soon as well. You can have a look at my vocal folds. Focusing on vocal health right at the beginning means that you've got that strong foundation to overlay any singing technique or any singing practice onto. The next step is to figure out where you are vocally. So I'm talking about vocal range. It's awesome to know the total scope of notes that you can sing. Now, if you don't know what those are and you need a little bit of a hand, here's a video that you can check out to work out your vocal range. There's one that's going to give you your vocal range really quickly in 5 minutes. But if you want to know a little bit more about your vocal range and all the ins and outs, check out this video here. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about vocal range and registration. The next step of assessing your voice and knowing where you are vocally is working out what I lovingly refer to as your default settings. Are there things both really positive that make your voice super unique that you do, and some things that maybe you do consistently that aren't helping you to sing as efficiently and freely as possible. Once you know your default settings, those good things and the things that you want to develop or work on, it makes it a lot easier to set goals for your voice and for your practices moving forward. And that brings me to my next step. The best way to figure out your default settings is to pick a song and video yourself singing it. Then you watch it back and you make a note of 3 things that you really love about your singing voice and about your performance, and then 3 things that you want to work on. And that's a really great way for also helping inform what your singing goals or your practice goals should be. And also, because you've done your vocal range assessment, you're going to know exactly what key to put the song into that's going to suit your voice and in turn help you to tell the story or interpret the story exactly the way that you want to. Now, singing covers is amazing. Even if you're an original artist and you're writing your own songs, covers can help give you a really strong kind of framework where you're essentially wanting to color in between the lines. You're wanting to have a roadmap that you can follow when you're wanting to develop your voice, just like this one. And it can help you to figure out what you need to work on, whether it's breath management or developing different tonal qualities or vocal agility or stamina. Having a little roadmap to follow gives you a way to identify your default settings and then also to figure out how to sing in ways that you may not have tried before, especially if you're copying the singer exactly, which I think is great for vocal development. Artistry and finding your own voice might be slightly different, but that still is the first step because you're discovering what you can do most easily, what you can emulate very easily, and what you find a little bit harder, and that can give you those really great insights in what to work on to develop your voice. And the next step in my singing confidence plan is practice. You've figured out what you want to work on, you've got your singing goals, and now you are mapping out what to practice specifically, whether it's song studies, taking that cover song and really practicing it, videoing yourself, reviewing, giving yourself positive feedback, 3 things you loved, 3 things you want to work on, because then you're always giving yourself positive reinforcement, but also informing yourself of what your next practice should be on. You want to think about how many times a week you can practice, and that's based on where you are in your vocal development journey. If you're just starting out, try maybe 15 minutes 3 times a week and build your stamina up. If you are singing lots, 60 minutes is a really solid amount of time to practice. The next step includes making sure that you have done a vocal warm-up, you know how to do a vocal warm-down, and you know how to rest your voice. Those are all really key components of having a solid practice plan. And also, once you're in that practice mode, this gives you an opportunity to spotlight techniques. And the 3 that I like to focus on the most when you're starting out singing is breath, which is the power for your voice. So learning how to manage and adjust the breath based on what sounds you're making. What kind of tone do you want for your voice? Using the exact voice qualities that really help to get that emotional delivery and that storytelling happening. And then the 3rd technique I love to work on is your filter. Now, your filter is essentially the space that's above your vocal folds, your throat, your oral cavity, your mouth, your nasal passages, and that is where once that sound wave has been produced, then you can play with it. You can project better, you can articulate, use your diction for the storytelling, and it's essentially like having your very own internal mixing desk, and you can really be in control. And this is where that real artistry can come into play as well, in creating your own signature sound. And then of course, once you've done all this practice, what is amazing to do is to actually perform. You can create your own performance opportunities. You've been videoing yourself all through your practice, reviewing, watching back positively and giving yourself some feedback. And that in itself is such a great tool for review. I love it like a before and after. In fact, in the Singer's Technique Toolkit, we pick songs and we take a video of ourselves singing them, and then we workshop those songs throughout the course, kind of doing like a before and an after video so that you can really look side by side and go, wow, all that practice, all that focus that I did on technique really made a difference. And so it's so important to create those performance opportunities, even if it is in video form. And you can check out my video here on how to create your own performance opportunities. But if you are able to go out and perform, you could book an open mic night, you could do a house concert at home for your family. With Christmas coming up, you could do a little performance if you're all getting together, Or you might actually have a live performance and that is what you're working towards. No matter what, that's really where the rubber hits the road and helps you to pull everything together. And it's kind of the reward for all the hard work that you've done. There are some things that you can do in the 3 days leading up to a performance to really make sure your mindset is right, that you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's from a practice and a technique perspective. And I'll share that 72-hour pre-performance checklist info right there for you. Now, last but not least, once you've done all the hard work, just like with practice, hopefully you reviewed your performance and you're able to look back and say, what are 3 things that worked really well? And what are 3 things that I'd like to practice in my next practice session? So the last step is to make sure that you allow yourself some time to review, to reflect, and to reset and refocus on what the next steps are. Now, I just rattled off 12 things and it's a lot to remember. So I've got this for you in a checklist. It's the ultimate guide to a better singing voice. It's your singing confidence roadmap. And you can download that just with the link below and I will flick that through to you. You can just check it off. You can work your way through it at your own pace. And that can be 1 tip a day, or it can be 1 tip a week or 1 tip a month. So this could literally take you anywhere from 12 days to 12 weeks up to a whole year, depending on how much time you've got to focus on. So you set the pace, and if you need any help or you have any questions, just drop them below. I'll be really happy to answer them. So what do you think? How many of those steps that I mentioned today are you already doing? Was there anything new that you hadn't thought of? Let me know by commenting below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And if you like learning about your voice, learning how to sing better with ease and confidence, consider subscribing to the Big Notes Get Votes channel. I would love to have you here, and I look forward to sharing more singing and performance tips with you real soon.